All right, to watch this video for Wednesday, June 6th. I put a line on the volume. Actually, I put the line right at the top of yesterday's volume stick. Today was slightly higher, but as you go to the left, you don't see one day that closed lower than this line. One back in December was right about the same spot, and that was, a holiday week, December 28th. So it's just to show you summer volume is definitely here. So, learn to sit on your hands unless there's an actual setup, preferably news involved in volume. I see it all over StockTwits. I see some of it in the chat room. I see people just taking setups based on the chart. Hey, if it breaks this resistance, it should go. And there's not the trading volume out there right now. So you really need to kind of shift your focus to the in-play stocks and the in-play stocks only, in my opinion, right now. Anyway, I had a pretty nice day, but here's what I'm watching for Wednesday. First Solar, again, this is not a bullish chart, but it's oversold in the short term. And remember, I log in every day trying to find stocks that I can make a trade in and make some money that day because I'm in cash every night. So I have the luxury of looking at this ugly First Solar chart saying it's overdue for a bounce and then watching it for potential bounce tomorrow. And if it doesn't give me an A+ setup, I just don't take the trade. HEAR, a lot of trading has taken place between, say, 16 and 18. If you look here, look in this area here, and now you're 2 days down to that area. I'll show it to you on 60-minute candles. I'm looking for this to kind of find support. It bounced, it kind of flushed below 15 here, went almost 14, same thing here. So if we get any kind of intraday sell-off, I'm going to look for reversal and an intraday bounce. All right, so I do think this is still a stock worth watching long. I think it got ahead of itself, but now it's coming down into support. And 5-minute candles, the last couple days, it's had some, like this big nasty flush here, but a violent bounce back up. It actually had one here, had a little bounce, and then kind of a nasty one there. And it's kind of starting to roll over again. So 15-minute candles here. If this were to kind of get downside shape and maybe flush 16 tomorrow, I might be looking to bid underneath that for a snapback bounce. And, I got a question in chat today. So what do you mean by a whole number flush? And I'll give you an example. WYNN. Let me try this again. I meant to put 5-minute candles on there. WYNN, if you look at it, was grinding lower all day, right? Little bit of bounce and then nasty volume, tiny little bounce, and then another flush down. Another little bitty bounce, and then another flush down. So this is like the, third or fourth kind of nasty. And then it's getting what I call kind of capitulation volume, but you're getting that shape change. And whole numbers can be pretty powerful. You get little flushes below them, and then you get rebounds. But a whole number divisible by 5 or 10, for whatever stupid reason, and maybe because we're all human and we have logical stops below those places, but those are even more powerful. And look what happens. When it looked about probably like this. I typed in the chat room, WYNN worth watching for a 175 flush, meaning I want to hide below that with a bid to try to get filled if it flushes 175 and you get a nice bounce back up. That's exactly what it did. Look at the volume that came in. So it was really beaten up. By the way, it wasn't just an intraday sell-off. You can see here it was several days down in a row, and I'll show you the daily in just a second. So I had a bid, but I had it too low. I was looking for 175 to get taken out. It went down to 174.93, so it only took it out by 7 cents, and then you kind of had a violent reversal. So if you had a bid right at 175, you get a $2 trade in probably 15 minutes. So I played it too cute with my bid, never got filled. But again, here's the daily. You already had basically almost 4 days down in a row. And you can also see one other thing that played a factor for me was it had supported the 175 area back here in March. So there was several things coming together that made me bid right below 175. Again, unfortunately, too low, but my thesis was correct. And as I'm talking about this, I'm almost considering putting this on Bounce Watch for a moment. But anyway, that's what I mean by a whole number flush. All right, so let's see. HEAR is the one I was sort of alluding to. If we get a whole number flush below 16 tomorrow, if it gives me a nice setup, I'll be interested in that. AETI had this huge move, gapped up a little bit today, but then sold off. So now you basically have an inside day on lower volume after this big day. I'll be looking for a low risk long setup in that one. Dare, you have to kind of zoom in to see anything in this one, but you had this pop in Dare, D-A-R-E, from 95 to 150 over the course of 2 sessions. Then it put in a lower high here, 140 again here, then another lower high. Kind of had a little, now I'll zoom in a little more. Can't control my mouse today. Zoom in a little more. Then you had this little extra volume yesterday, and then kind of a quiet inside day today. So, you can picture a trend line. I'll just follow my mouse here. You can kind of picture a trend line and a little bit of extra volume coming in. Possible breakout. This is one of those, though, that I view as really obscure. And I just got through lecturing you and myself about focusing on the in-play stocks. And I would, no pun intended. Okay, there is a pun intended. I would dare to say that this really isn't an in-play stock because you don't have recent volume. Now, if volume comes in or there's news tomorrow, then it becomes much more compelling. HTBX, I'm still looking for a breakout of this kind of flat top here. No trades in it today. VBLT, nothing interesting here. You had this huge gap down, just straight sideways. Why is it on the watch? Because in after hours, they had news and it went as high as I think 320 and really closed out in after hours right around 310. So set to open somewhere around here tomorrow. We'll see. We don't know what's going to do in the pre-market, but absolutely a potential gap and go play. SNES, let me pan out a little bit here. So you had this huge move and then a gap up and then a reversal. Kind of found support. Several people in chat were all over this one. I think at $1.50 today. I never got involved in it. Didn't really, I don't know why, because I'd been watching this for a few days, and then today I didn't have it on watch, and then it does this. So anyway, we'll see if it has a follow-through day tomorrow, but it's kind of extended now. SDT, big volume day for this one, and closing pretty strong. We'll see if we get some kind of red to green or something. ANY is getting volume spikes here, here, and a little bit of one here, but it's got nice support below. We'll see if this can catch a bid tomorrow. And lastly, CHKE, really big volume for this stock. Closing well off its highs, kind of in the middle of its range, but we're going to have it on watch as well. We'll add some gappers to this list, and that's, believe me, that's plenty to watch. Again, make sure you're focused on the in-play stocks in this low summer volume. You save yourself a lot of money if you do that. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.